He couldn't feel pain because his body was dying. Yet this teenage king held off one of the greatest military leaders in history. This is the true story of Baldwin IV, the Leper King, who defied Saladin. Baldwin IV, born in 1161, was diagnosed with leprosy at just 9 years old. The disease was fatal. Yet at the age of 13, Baldwin ascended to the throne of Jerusalem at the height of the Crusades. His enemies thought he wouldn't last a year. What followed was a reign of incredible courage, outmaneuvering legendary adversaries, including Saladin, one of history's greatest military minds. Baldwin IV was born into a world of political and military turmoil. The Crusader kingdom of Jerusalem was caught in a struggle for survival against the expanding forces of the Muslim world, led by Saladin. At just 9 years old, Baldwin was struck by leprosy, a disease that would slowly consume his body. Yet in a kingdom filled with battles, Baldwin's mind and spirit were unbroken. In a time when kings were expected to lead armies, Baldwin's fate seemed sealed. The disease slowly ate away at his body, blinding him in one eye and eventually disfiguring his hands. But Baldwin refused to be a mere pawn in his kingdom's political game. Instead of falling victim to his illness, he made a decision that would define his reign. He would fight. When Baldwin became king at just 13, he was thrust into the crucible of warfare. His body was deteriorating, but his resolve was growing. Baldwin was no ordinary king. He had the mind of a general and the heart of a warrior. Despite his illness, Baldwin began to study strategy and warfare, learning from the best minds in Europe and the Middle East. Despite his illness, Baldwin trained in warfare, determined to defend his kingdom. His body was failing, but his mind was sharper than ever. Meanwhile, the man who would become his greatest adversary, Saladin, was rising in power across the Muslim world. Saladin's aim was simple: to reclaim Jerusalem for Islam. Saladin, a genius military leader and strategist, aimed to unite the Muslim world and expand his empire. He quickly became the greatest threat to Baldwin's kingdom. Baldwin knew that his health was deteriorating and that his time was limited. But he had one chance to keep Jerusalem safe. At the age of 16, Baldwin faced Saladin's army, a force of 26,000 men, with just 500 knights. Outnumbered and weakened by his illness, Baldwin's condition made the battle seem impossible. But Baldwin, carried on horseback, led his forces into battle with relentless courage. And in an astonishing victory, Baldwin's knights crushed Saladin's army. It was a victory that stunned the world. A teenage king, battling a debilitating disease, had defied one of the greatest military leaders in history. The Battle of Montjuic became a defining moment in Baldwin's